Hey everybody, it's me, Summoning Respiratory Flux, or Flux for short if you want to go by that. And welcome to my first Let's Play. This is Star Fox Adventures for the Nintendo GameCube, released in 2002, as you can see by the bottom of the screen. This game has an interesting history. It didn't start off as a Star Fox game, but it was added in later on. So that's why the gameplay is so different from other entries in the series. Additionally, it's the last game that Rare made before they were bought out by Microsoft. So that's an interesting thing about it in its own right. Some people say that it was a sign of things to come, but others, myself included, would generally say it's still a pretty great game in its own right. And I personally think that it gets a lot more flack than it deserves, really. But that's why I'm doing a Let's Play of it in the first place. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope that I can convince at least a couple of you, maybe, to give this game another shot, because it's really still a pretty decent game. With that, let's get this thing underway. Now, if you look at this, you'll see that I already have a file on here. That's because I tried to record this earlier, and this very beginning part didn't get through. Somehow the files for just one of my 3 recording sessions I tried already did not work right, so I couldn't edit it. So I have to go back and re-record it. That's what I'm doing now. So I'll just be using this second file here for this one. This will still be my main file for the Let's Play, because I still got some pretty good footage for most of what I've done. But we'll start with this. Again, I'll just use these same initials. SRF. And with that, we'll save that. And let's start the file. And the story begins. It's a block of plot exposition that really doesn't get brought up again, but is still worth knowing, to be perfectly honest. And now the cutscenes. Start things off, we have a flying and shooting segment, kind of like what you see in other Star Fox games, but obviously not quite the same. What you need to do first is basically shoot these things. Don't worry about getting hit. There's really nothing, no consequence of getting hit. You just need to for a second. That's the thing. Once you light those things on fire, then you can basically just shoot them. Again, there's no real consequence to getting hit, so it's just a tutorial mission anyway. Shoot these things again, like before. This time, in addition to lighting on fire, the faces will blow up. And once you've done that, the ship will turn around and the front of it will face you now. And the front of the ship is alive. shoot it a few times, it'll basically let you land on the ship. Logic is not an important thing right now, to be perfectly honest. Just go with what you see. Things should start making a little bit more sense from here on out, though, I guess. Maybe a little. I don't know. And with that, we get to our first on-foot segment. Find the source of the voice? Yes. Although, okay, but to explain one thing that some of you might be wondering a little. The language that is spoken in these cutscenes is completely made up for this game, and it's really ends up being complete gibberish. The language, the written form of this game's language is based on a substitution cipher of a sort. I'll go ahead and try and put that on screen for you now. That basically just takes most of the letters of the English language and substitutes them around and attempts to speak these new words as a language. It ends up about as awkward as you would think it would. And what makes it even more awkward is that proper nouns don't get this treatment. They're just spoken in plain English. Half the time. Most of the time. Sometimes it's written as a proper noun, but because of the context, it's really just a regular noun. So it's spoken, translated. And yeah, there's a lot about the language that's a little weird, but that only really affects the beginning part of this game. And basically just says when A appears, you can check the A display. You can basically talk to this thing by pressing A, as it says. When A appears again, check it. The A button. You can do many different things, so pay attention to what the action icon says. Wait, wrong game. And if you talk to it again, he'll just say, hey, explore below deck, like I opened up. I don't know how that thing opened up below deck, but again, logic, not really all that big a deal right now. Now let's get out of the rain and explore below deck. There's really only one thing that's down here, and that's this obvious key. Get used to this scene, because you will see it many times in this game. Key from the palace. Place the items in your C inventory, which, just to explain that, you push the C stick in any direction and it'll pull up an inventory. So you can go through 3 different menus of things, and you can use them, or you can try and use something that you can't use, or you can just press the cancel button and it'll close your menu. So that's how that works. It's actually a fairly solid system of storing items. It has its quirks though, but for now let's just activate this next cutscene and get ready for some more awkward dialogue.
General Scales, Hiko, Kohud, or Taskuki, Eve Dinosaur Planet. Ut Neokraju, Ui Kimo Nekt.
Am dek kutsoho keivorik oi. Am edko kutsoho rosvejo evu tashkov suk.
Utashkov Suk? Kiash Niko Kuduk, Ash Atashkov.
Keo cloud on a kekt moyorik oi. Keo Ola General.
Moak. Aumdekulak. Ahiko ilo kio, mudu tadijwi kiaro. Kiok. Ash nio amit hiko kutsash kudok nakivu. Ikia najo. Kio vik oknush kokeva wika wok mo. Ue tuoki se kodwo mo? Kia Dekelu! Edo Su Tavuk! General Scales!
Rotzes, General! Moro do kemo.
Kia chaj dekelu!
Pożwat keo jezo ev keo tashkov jadok. Anito avgeash ash neo keo tashkov jadok ash sematvem.
Kia gets Kio Krazoa Palace! Avoe, we are Jato! Rolla ho suvik! Kia kakio! Touch wings mek joshut kuso!
And with that, we've arrived at the first real segment of the game, although it's still part of the tutorials, really. It's just telling us that we can pause and save and quit at any time we need to. So that's cool. Yeah. One other thing I find kind of particularly awkward about the spoken dialogue is whenever, yes, that's a fuel barrel generator. That basically means that explosives will regenerate here when you use them, but there's the one from that one that's currently out doesn't seem to be there, so we've got to go find it. Anyway, as I was saying, when the spoken dialogue goes to a proper noun, so it's speaking English, it has to put on some kind of ridiculous accent so that it doesn't sound too weird. So it basically just ends up making everything sounding slightly French in that last conversation. That's fun. But then this basically just shows that you can use your C inventory like so to, say, unlock a door. And there's a barrel sitting there. Wonder what this does. If you throw it at loading the brain, it blows up and another one appears back here for you to keep using them. Do it like so, and I missed, but it still somehow worked. And if you go over here, you pull up boxes with these as well, and pick up items like this one. You have collected a Thumbledang pod. Shouldn't you go back to your wizard school? No, I kid. That was kind of a terrible joke anyway. But too easy. Some delicious fruit. Find them in baskets and crates or hanging in trees. Even enemies will sometimes drop them. Basically, it's a health recovery item. Each one of those will do 2 small segments, or essentially half of a full, whatever those are, box heads, hearts, essentially. You can tell this game was very heavily Zelda inspired in some ways, but open the way onward by throwing another barrel at these crates that are blocking the way, and you will also discover a further health recovery item. Don't worry, they're not dinosaur eggs. They're not. There's nothing wrong with eating these things. Also, that shadow is jumping. That's weird. But basically just saying there's nothing wrong with these things. So don't get overly conscious about them. And they recover a full segment of your health. All 4 of those. What do you have to say? King Earthwalker sent us to protect the palace. It's not safe for you here. Find yourself in danger, press X to log. The 3 Earthwalkers here outside here will all offer a small bit of plot exposition and explain one of your extra controls. It's kind of weird, to be perfectly honest, but it saves useless models, I guess. So, General Scales attacked. Tried to stop them, but there were too many. Look around before you enter an area, press Z so you can use your first-person view, essentially. Also, get away from me. And you, what do you got to say? You should leave this place. Great evil has been brought here. To be extra safe, sneak around corners by holding down L and moving in sidestep mode. You know, that's really kind of weird. It's like, you tell me to leave, that it's not safe, and then you go out and say, to be extra safe, do this. It's like, that's kind of an odd juxtaposition of concepts. Also, climbing in this game is a thing. You can climb up ladders, but it's super slow. It's honestly a little faster to climb to go back up the slope, but I went up the ladder just to show that you can. So essentially, you saw that crack in the wall back when we talked to the last guy. So all we have to do is blow it up. Hooray for blowing up sacred buildings. Oh well, it's not like it's not in ruins already anyway. Those baskets you can pick up, they have fruit in them. But since I'm at full health, I don't really need to worry about that now. This guy... Well, this guy, what does he have to say? He says that Scales attacked the place so he could capture the Krazoa spirits for himself. Interesting. The spirits hold great powers and have been safe within the palace for millions of years. We fought hard against the Sharp Claw and were able to hide the spirits throughout the planet. Scales then unleashed an evil into the palace. In a hurry to leave, the Sharp Claw sealed me inside. So there's a great evil here, and the Krazoa spirits have been hidden around. That sounds interesting. Maybe that'll be important later. But now pick up this barrel and here. Basically, those crates. We need to get another barrel and run past this fire. But unfortunately, there was not a generator there, so we have to go around this corner and grab this here. Avoid the flying jellyfish brain. Avoid the fire since you're basically carrying a barrel full of gasoline. Start at the wall. If you're slightly high on the wall when you throw it, then it won't count and you'll have to go get another one. Yeah, I know, it's silly. You can throw that for fruit and that'll recover some health. So here's a barrel, and what this is teaching you is that you can set it down if there's a proper place to hold down a switch, say. And now we have another Earthwalker who seems to be rather important based off of the fact that there's light shining on him. So perhaps he has something important to say as well. And what do you know? He actually triggers a cutscene.
Keo Krazoa, Dude Uwe Kutsak, Keo Uho, Dude Wo,
Nos ag oe kio grot kio tash kuf shoduk.
Neod no ho Ukasbat, Ashatu Kat, Vo Kutsak, no hu, Mucha shot, oh.
Rek neok noho oe tedwo kutsoho.
Keo King Earthwalker, shot its game. Helkas Kiash Shushat Fusuzo, Kutsimo Eve Keo Krazoa. Keo Krazoa, Oho Fuso Fahax, Fenovic Roadru, Keo Grado Kevoke, Okudak, Naki Keo Fahax, A Kudak Ash 2.
Ach kutsoho jimokert atsute.
Moak, Etko Keo Fiho Eve Kutsuk, Sud Kubo Keo Gashk. Utko Keo Krazoa Shrine, Etso Achatu, Semf Kuko Kipahak Koch, Ut Unawak Ue Hunut, Av Ue Jesut, Kiot Hokit Kemo. I'm Deck Waitwu Utun Kotso.
Okay. So now we have our goal for the game to gather the Krazoa spirits and return them to the shrine. So our first stop along, return them to the shrine. Return them from the shrines to the palace. So we also have our our way to the first shrine. So, what you need to do is stand on this pad here. It's an entrance warp. Stand in the center and press A to enter the shrine. So stand in the center and press the A button, and